Alright, so on to day 86 of going through my old journals. Here is the quote. It says, fill your paper with the breathings of your heart. And then it says, draw your heart below and fill it with words that describe your heart. So this is a drawing one. I've mentioned this in the past, that this journal, I get kind of stressed when it talks about the drawing ones because don't consider myself artistic or creative in any way. But thankfully this isn't really like an artistic one. So it just has like instead of lines, it has like a blank space in the middle, and then you draw a heart and fill it with words that describe your heart. And I did text as well to go along with, I guess, describing my heart and what I drew inside of it. And I drew it as broken. And so I had kind of like good things on one side and bad things on the other side. So on the good side, I put soft, gentle, sincere, warm, happy, full, red, and kind. For the like kind of bad side, I put cold, distant, broken, closed off. I don't know why I put colors, but I guess I was thinking about what colors I think of on these sides. I put blue or black, dark, alone. And so yeah, like I definitely have like those two sides. Like I think the one side, kind of like the bad side of me, is I am distant. I am kind of a loner most of the time. I am pretty closed off to most people. But I also feel like I can be warm and I don't know. Let me see what I wrote in the text. I said, oh, when I drew the left side, it came out perfectly in one stroke, but the right side didn't match. I felt like the right side looked ugly. So the right side was like my bad side. I felt like it looked ugly and I didn't quite get it right. I feel like I've always had this issue when drawing hearts. Okay, what was I thinking? I was just writing about drawing this heart. I think the drawing prompt like threw me off of my game because I don't know. I've always had this issue drawing hearts, which is true. From when I was a kid, I would hearts and stars. It's like one half of them would be great, and then the other half is just like a mess, and I can't get it right. One side will be perfect, but the other won't match. When I started thinking about words to describe my heart, I realized there were two sides to that as well. Okay, that makes sense. For the perfect side, I feel warmer emotions. For the other, I feel darker ones. They are both me, just at different times. In the past, I felt more of the good feelings in my heart. But as I've gotten older, the dark side seems to be growing. Is that accurate? I wouldn't say the dark side wasn't there the whole time. I would say I just wasn't aware of it as much. I used to consider myself like a very positive, optimistic person. I always saw the bright side of things and situations, and then I think, and you're young and you're naive to the world and the realities of the world, and you tend to look for the best in other people and like try to see the best in other people. And then I think as you get older and you just get exposed more to the realities of the world, I think it's hard to not let it affect you. And you know, as you have more experiences, you know, especially if you have more bad experiences, it can kind of chip away, I think, at that kind of, is naive the word? Yeah, I guess kind of naive view of the world, and realize that there are bad things. And I think it is good to kind of try to balance both and just realize that there are good things in the world and there's also bad things, and you need to protect your heart from the bad things, but also try to leave it more open for the good things. And I think more recently I have been like closing it off quite a bit, but I don't know. I don't know. But I feel like it's opening. I wouldn't say it's opening back up. I don't know. I feel like I have a pretty good balance of things. I guess that depends on if you think like being alone and being somewhat happy being alone most of the time is a good thing. I just saw a TikTok of this girl that was saying that like she had a switch too. Like when she was younger, she liked to be out partying and hanging out with friends and being social. And I wouldn't say I was ever that social, but I did enjoy just being out and doing things, like doing lots of things, experiencing lots of things. Even if I wasn't like social as I was there, I was never like the most talkative, like exciting person in the place, but I like to go and see and people watch and do things. And then, yeah, like as I've gotten older, I feel like, okay, well, I already know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to go to a bar. I know what it feels like to go to a club. I know what it feels like to hang out with a group of friends and do all of these things. And I guess the newness is just worn off. Maybe it's my ADHD. Like it's not anything interesting to me anymore. And so I just don't like to do that. And she was saying, she's like, I just love to be alone. I love to be home. I love to be, I can be totally content just at home organizing or just scrolling my phone or watching TV, or like it sounds like she does a lot of organizing and cleaning. And yeah, like I can just find a lot of things to entertain myself by myself with. In the world that we live in today, there's tons of things to entertain yourself. So yeah, I mean, maybe that's a bad thing, not interacting with other people so much, but well, and she said the same thing. She said, I interact with people on social media, just not as much in real life. And she's like, most of the time, whenever like I can go and hang out with my friends and have lunch with my friends and things like that, but she's like, in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking like, I'd rather be home right now. I'd rather be home, and there's this, and this that I could be getting done. So yeah, it is kind of hard. And my roommate gets that a lot too. Like he's getting better, but he used to be really stuck on work. And if he's away from home, he's not working. He can't make money. And like we would go on trips together sometimes, and I just got to where I'm like, I'm not going to travel with you anymore, because if we were on a trip, sometimes it was fine, and then sometimes like he would just be hyper focused and thinking like, I need to be working, I need to be working, I need to be working. And he's chilled out a lot lately, but we're going to see. We're going on a trip here in a couple of weeks. So we'll see if he can kind of like enjoy himself, or if it's just a thing where we're just better off staying home alone and not making plans. Like he's more like a sporadic, like he'll get the urge to want to go do something, and it's kind of like it's not convenient for me because I have to work, so I do have to plan things a little bit more. So I don't know, that just went on a total tangent. But to get back to this, if you want to do this, draw a heart and then fill it with words that you think describe your heart. Because I don't know if I did a very good job of that, but it is what it is. So I will be back tomorrow with day 87.